Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I would like to read on a few things regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. I want to know, and we don't know yet, are the stay-at-home orders that are occurring in almost all the states, are they helping at all? Are they helping? They keep talking about, the curve flattening, but so far, all of the states keep going up. So I do want to know about that. So Spirit, what do you have to say about that? Give us information that's accurate and helpful, please. Okay. So in the heart of the matter, we have the Three of Coins. Well, certainly they're consulting with experts and they're certainly trying to figure this out. They're doing, they're running the models. They're doing the analyses. Yep. They're trying to figure it out. So what we're getting from analyses may be trustworthy, I'm thinking that means. All right. Not to say every study and everything is, but I mean, for the most part. All right. So we have the Ten of Cups as the challenge. Right. It is challenging for people to stay home and know that they're all right and have peace in their homes. So that's our challenge. To not fret too much about these things if it's possible. Yes. Okay. Well, maybe the challenge is also, what about people who don't have that kind of freedom to stay home? That's a challenge. That's a challenge, right? And you notice this family is rural. They have an easier time isolating. Yes. Okay. So that's the challenge. It's simply, we do still have a lot of people going to work. That limits the effectiveness of the stay-at-home. Underneath it all, we have the Justice card. The Law. Yeah, clarifier is the Three of Wands. So in other words, we're going to be watching and waiting this for a long time before we really know the answer to how effective that has been. Right. The laws, they're laws to a law that's needed, a law that's right. In the past, we have the Hanged Man. Delays. Oh, any delay in those stay-at-home. See, that's where the experts find the information, right? They compare one state that's similar to the next that had a delay in making the stay-at-home order and how much worse things got for them. They are going to be able to, they're already finding data about that it did help. At least it does help. Above it all is the Seven of Swords. See, there's a hidden agenda. This is why I kind of keep coming back to these readings, because I feel like we're not told everything. I do. I feel like there are conversations like, let's not panic, everybody. I have the sense that to think that this will be so effective, the stay-at-home orders will be so effective that we're going to see peaks already in a week or 2 weeks in some states and then a flattening and going down. I don't think that's quite right. I gotta tell you. Let's see if there are any other clarifiers for that card. Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords. Yeah. Yeah, there will be more people sick, of course. We know this. It's not, we're not going to get through this as a nation with a small number of casualties, with a light load of those. Of course, I have also heard it's very different in different parts of the country, though. That's very different. In the immediate future, we have the Knight of Cups. There's some good news coming in. However, the Knight of Cups doesn't always tell us all about it. Doesn't always share everything. So that's kind of with the Seven of Swords. The Knight of Cups can be manipulative. So I guess what I'm hearing is do it as completely as you can, stay at home, and that's what we can do. Here's another question I have. So are they going to finally get testing, rapid testing occurring in such numbers that for the parts of the country that don't have large outbreaks, will they be able to treat them a little bit like South Korea did and use contract tracing and isolation of those affected or those exposed? Are they going to be able to do that to keep numbers down in the more isolated areas of our country? That's something I want to know. See what Spirit has to say about that. We have the sun. We have the sun. I keep feeling like that means summer. Like it will take them a while to get that working that well. We have the Chariot, but this thing doesn't wait till the summer. We have, so the Chariot is the challenge. Underneath it all, we have the Page of Coins. So there is a new development in the testing that is hopeful. It's been picked up. It's begun. Although we're still having trouble. A lot of people, in my state, they're just simply saying, still, nothing's changed. The only people that can get tests are those who are healthcare workers, are in the hospital sick, or in long-term care. Those are the only people that can get tests right now. So, have to be pretty sick. In the past is the Five of Coins, right? People being shut out regarding the tests, even though they are sick, and off they go. That's right. Above it all, we have the Temperance Angel. Gradually. So they're working toward that. Unfortunately, guys, I don't see them. They really would need to get this up and running now to prevent much spread, to keep the spread down in those rural areas. So they will get it up and running, rapid testing. But it may be a while before those tests are readily accessible. And I think they'll be free when they are, but before they're readily accessible. So in the immediate future, we have the Four of Wands. Okay, now that's something going on in the White House. That's like even an agreement in the White House. I just feel like I've heard conversations. I feel like I've heard conversations where, Trump still is not wild about doing that, doing the South Korea model in parts of the country. He still doesn't really want that. He still doesn't really want the numbers coming up. And I feel like he's selectively taking the feedback, feedback that is presented to him like, well, at this point, that's not going to work in the New York area. Because at this point in the New York area, that I wouldn't say it's worth it. You should give up on it, but it would be harder. I mean, it would just take a lot of testing but it would be worth trying, gosh. But I feel like he takes, if people say something like that, he's like, yeah, it's too late. Yeah. Because he really doesn't want to ever get an accurate count of the numbers. He never wants an accurate count of the numbers. So I don't like that. Queen of Coins. There's that Queen of Coins again. He wants to sit on the throne, the stability. It's not good for business. Sometimes that has represented donors to his campaign and campaigns like his by big business. So I think they will get it up and running, and I do think it will help, but it may be a while yet. And unfortunately, it could help a lot more right now, but I don't think that they're not going to get it up and running right now. And not in the next couple weeks, is what I'm hearing. So, and that's really when it needs to be up and running, to try to keep spread down in the areas where there are a few cases. But at the same time, I hear from Spirit that it's not that in the more isolated areas where there are a few cases, it's not that they're going to ever get the concentration that they've had in the heavily populated areas. It does benefit people to be in an area with few cases. It does. And there will be enough done and through the social distancing and through testing increasing when they do get there, there'll be enough done that at least it does help, It does help. It doesn't fly through there like wildfire like it has in some more heavily populated areas. Okay, so it's sort of a mixed bag. Okay, I want to know about the PPE, the personal protective equipment. Do we get more? Okay, so we've had companies ordered to only sell to US. We've had companies ordered to ramp up production. Now we finally have that. Now, is there a point soon where every healthcare provider can have a mask for every procedure? They can change their masks throughout the day. They need to be able to do that. We have the Four of Wands. Again, I kind of feel like that's in the White House. They're making it sound better than it is. They're making it sound more, hey, we're celebrating. Deal is done. Here they come. But are they coming? What's the challenge card? The King of Coins. Yeah, I mean, there are large businesses that have a lot of sway. That's why it took so long for Trump to order some of them to do this. Okay, underneath it all, we have the Judgment Angel, the Judgment card. There is a lot of judgment falling on the administration for this. We know that. In the past, we have the Lovers card, right? I feel like it's who they're in bed with. I feel like, Trump hesitated to give orders like this to big businesses because, he didn't want to upset them. Okay. And he didn't want to harm the economy, and he didn't want to, money is king for him. Above it all, we have the Knight of Coins. People need to go to work. They need to go to work. And that's the issue here. That's why they're going to faithfully go. That's the healthcare providers we're looking at there with that Knight of Coins. They're going to faithfully go to improve all our health. They're going to faithfully go regardless. And unfortunately, that has entered into the decision making about how hard they were going to push this PPE. In the immediate future, we have the Six of Swords, right? And we get that a lot. We're moving on to calmer shores, but not until we're learning a lot of difficult lessons about all of this. All right, so I think that means that, yes, it will be coming, but it'll be a little bit yet. We'll be still, like, more things will come out, more data will come out about what kind of risk that puts people at, what kind of risk there is with that. So, right. And there will be data coming out about the homemade masks that are being used, and at least there's that, but they shouldn't be used by health professionals, but there are health professionals who have no other choice. And so there will be data coming out about how much less effective they are than the N95s, how much less effective they need to be. So that'll be there too. And the paper masks versus the N95s versus the respirators. So, yep, unfortunately, this president seems to get things awfully slowly. It takes a lot. He always has to see real serious consequences before he moves. So, gosh. At some point, are they just going to take all the decision making out of his hands somehow? We have the Knight of Coins. He has too many knights. He has too many people they're doing his bidding. They have a job. They want to further their career. He has too many knights. He doesn't have any kings left or queens. He's gotten rid of them. And we have the Lovers card. Unfortunately, there are too many people who humor him because they're sort of in bed with him politically. Their futures are tied to his and so on. So there are a lot of selfish people. That's all I can say, is there are a lot of selfish people. Eight of Swords. And there are plenty, too, that feel like they can't do anything to contain him entirely. So that's a problem. All right, Spirit. Will we have more whistleblowers, though? Will we have more whistleblowers? Because I feel like we will. The Five of Cups, as we're looking at the cost of lost time, and it is very depressing. I mean, that's a whistleblower. So this is the press, though. What I'm hearing about the press picking up on that. I'm hearing about studies coming out that demonstrate how important acting earlier is, and those covered in the news. That's what I'm hearing right now. I'm not hearing so much about whistleblowers yet, but we have the King of Coins and we have the Knight of Swords. They're actively trying to squelch them. You know, they know they'll fight. New beginning. There may be somebody who goes and jumps off a cliff, basically, and walks out in faith and does blow the whistle, though, that knows what's going on within the administration. There really may be. Spirit must be trying to help, to beckon them to do that, to do something courageous. Yes. All right, Spirit. Is there anything else we should know about management of this pandemic in this country? Let's see. We're standing our ground. We've got the Seven of Wands. So that's a good card. You know, however, this guy is, backing up to the edge of the cliff, but, he's standing his ground, staying focused. Okay. The Hierophant is, okay, well, and again, Spirit will use this to point out, to reveal troubles in our government. And we have the Four of Cups. Yeah, there are people simply not accepting that it's that bad. Not accepting the news, not accepting the message. Right. And that's, in high levels of government where we don't want them. So, okay. All right, Spirit. What about for some of the other countries? I worry about India. What about India? What about COVID-19 in India? Yeah, the Three of Swords. So this is ongoing. This is kind of repeated heartache. In other words, for those who are the poorest are going to suffer the most from that. Challenge is the Four of Wands. So something in their government too. Or this could be something with their homes, for the people who don't have good homes to shelter in. It's a problem. Okay. Underneath it all, we have the Judgment card, the decisions. Some pretty remarkable decisions are being made then. And they will be really trying to, some pretty remarkable decisions are being made to aggressively deal with this issue in India. In the past, we have the Strength card, divine protection and strength. That's wonderful. And above it all, we have the Nine of Coins. I'm thinking that means their income inequality is a real big issue there too. Maybe even more so. And then we have the immediate future standing the ground. Okay, so they're not going to do any worse. In other words, they're probably not really going to do worse than the U.S. has done in some ways. Okay. Because the U.S. has really bungled this. The administration has really bungled this. Okay, and Iran, they're starting to see some improvements, I believe. How's Iran looking? They have an opportunity. Spirit's trying to give them an opportunity. The Death card is the challenge. There are too many deaths for them to manage right now. Underneath it all, and just I'm feeling the heaviness of that. Underneath it all is the deep mysteries, the High Priestess. There are secrets, that means, with how this is being handled in Iran. There are secrets that the people are not being told about. In the past is the Seven of Coins. There were already troubles with people feeling secure, people feeling like their health needs were met. Above it all is the Four of Coins. Well, they hang on. They're in their in that's what their goal is right now, to hang on. Hang on to their security, hang on to their way of life, hang on. The current administration wants to hang on to their power too. In the near future is the Ten of Coins, Generations card. So what can be difficult for a lot of people in Iran can also be a strength. You know that very often older generations, people of older generations are cared for by the younger people in their family. So that can be difficult because it exposes some older people, but yet it can be a strength too. So it works both ways for them is what I'm getting. And then Page of Cups, they get a little bit of good news with that actually. Okay. Yeah, I mean they'll flatten their curve. They will. So it's just not happening yet, it looks like, but they will. All right. What about, well, let's look at China. So a lot of people feel that China is underreporting its deaths from COVID-19. So let's see. Let us see. Whoop. Oh, we should look at Spain too, I suppose, because they're getting, and Italy. Okay, but first I said China. Let's see about China. Are they underreporting their deaths from COVID-19, Spirit? Kind of. Five of Swords. They're going to win at any cost. Challenge. Three of Coins, making deals in the back. Yeah, it's for the sake of business. It's for the sake of their economy. Yes, they are. Yes, they are concealing the number of deaths and the threat. Okay, they want people who are buying from them to keep buying from them. You know, they're great export. They export many, many goods. So they're certainly not wanting that to stop. Hanged Man. After a while, it'll come out. Okay, that's interesting. So should we look at like, areas of Europe? Spain. What's Spain looking like right now, Spirit? And what is it looking for them in the future? Well, they're really working on isolating. Okay, we got the King of Coins. Okay, they're having some people with deep pockets step up and help. Maybe they're having big industry step up and help. And they feel regretful about missteps in managing this. Right, because they are having more cases. And, I keep hearing Spirit say, if you want to know what's likely to happen, pick a comparable country and you can see what their curve did. Pick countries, and by comparable, I mean comparable in how they've managed the pandemic. And you can kind of see the curve, and the curve goes up for Spain still, of course. What about Italy? How are they doing? Little bit of good news for Italy. They must be starting to see a decrease in new cases, a decrease in deaths, perhaps. Knight of Swords is the challenge, to just keep fighting this thing. They're only halfway through in their victory. They're only halfway there in their plan to keep fighting it. New beginning underneath it all. Okay, so hopefulness is beckoning. In the past, we have plenty of funerals, right? Above, we have the Emperor. The law is really clamping down. And in the near future, we have the 10th, so they're still having a lot of people falling ill. All right, what about further out? Two of Wands. They're looking for help from other nations. They're needing help from other nations. So how does that work? And then we get this, the Six of Swords. It's a long journey, but they get to the calmer shores eventually. They learn a lot of things along the way. All right. Well, that's all, we have a lot going on, and it's not just those countries. There are many, many countries that are, well, all the countries are dealing with this on some level. But I apologize if I didn't mention your particular country. It seems like the UK is fairly similar to the US in how things are going, except for there's reason for celebration right now in the UK. 10 of Cups. They're doing really well with their stay at home, obviously. Well, that's good. Well, that's good. So maybe they're doing better probably than the US. All right. Well, I thank you all so much, and take care. Take care of you. Okay. Bye-bye.